Good morning, friends. In this session, we will discuss one of the important article in terms of global trade, that is GATT-ification of World Trade Organization. So this is the editorial which had come yesterday on Hindu newspaper. So let me start with the disclaimer. So friends, once again in this channel, I am going to discuss editorial analysis from the newspapers like Hindu, Telangana Today, and Financial Express and Pioneer. And small intro about myself. I am Satya ji, author and coach. You can find some of the books written by me on Amateur. And friends, if you find value from this channel, you can consider following my channel. Thank you so much. So let me talk about the important points in the newspaper as it is. So this is the article, friends. Let me zoom. Yes. So what to read and what not to read whenever we are taking the any editorial. Try to identify the introduction, friends. So here see the introduction. So it has been 5 years since appellate body, the second tier of World Trade Organization dispute settlement system, which is non-functional, right? That is one of the news. Moreover, Trump has coming, who is going to give importance to the protectionism. So that is why World Trade Organization functioning is very important. Whether it will function and the obstruction will still continue, everything we should know. So this obstruction, right, friends, it is continuing from the Barack Obama regime to till Joe Biden, and upcoming also it is very difficult to function. So that's why the article has come. Right here they are mentioning some of the establishment of this World Trade Organization, how it has come, and what is the body before that, everything they have mentioned, right? So here they have mentioned that is GATT, so that you should know. Then important points are there. So all right, so majorly in this article the author has discussed key points. So we will discuss from the starting to ending in our regular pattern. So let me share my writing pad. Friends, I hope it is visible for everybody. So if it is not visible, you can mention in the chat. Let me go myself with my flow. Yes, friends. So let me start. So as usual, the pattern is same. So that is the introduction or why it is in use. Friends, intro is very simple. That is non-functioning of appellate body. Affiliate body of World Trade Organization since 5 years. Why it is not non-functioning? Because US is obstructing appointments to this body. Appointments to appellate body. So that is the major reason. So if we see from Barack Obama to Joe Biden. So and upcoming Trump also. Trump 2.0. It is future. So they are obstructing, that's why it is not going to function properly. So that's why the article is very important in terms of global trade or international trade. So friends, in this article, in this background, we will discuss elaborately what is international trade, and each and every important terms also we will discuss, even though it will take some time. So bear the concepts. It is very important in terms of economy, right? So we should not ignore these concepts. So let me start the definition of the international trade. So what is international trade? So from one country to another country or across the border, country to country. So we can trade goods, services, and capital. Right? It may be, we can term this trade as, it may be exports to some countries import. That is the vice versa. Exports and imports. This is the definition of the international trade. So why this international trade is very very important? So friends, international trade is very important for everybody. If we see, it enhances the country's GDP. So it is accessing the resources. Some countries may have good number of resources and technology, but other countries may not. In that time, they need to do trade, import or export. And finally, creation of jobs in the export driven market. Right. Got it, friends? So, any examples regarding to international trade? So, some examples like exports of electronics. For worldwide, China is the best in exporting of electronics. And oil exports by Middle East countries. So for India, oil is the import. So that is another important. At the same time, if we see agriculture commodities or products are imports for the some of the countries like UK and EU, because they lack in agriculture. So these are basic funda with respect to international trade. So while doing these exports and imports, there are some barriers. So what are these barriers? So another term is barriers. That is trade barriers. Whenever we are doing some trade, some barriers will be there. So generally the trade barriers will be many types. People will call it as a tariff barriers and non-tariff barriers. So when it comes to tariff barriers are nothing but the imposing the tax. Non-tariff barriers are not related to taxes, but they indirectly restrict the trade. For example, if we see licensing requirement, so licensing standard regulations, right? So custom documentation, lengthy documentation. So like this, they will create some delays. That is tariff and non-tariff barriers. So other trade barriers are like subsidies. So in India, we are giving subsidies for agriculture. So these subsidies are against for the World Trade Organization rules. So that is another claim on the Indian side. Some other barriers for trade is anti-dumping measures. So these are imposed on the foreign goods. So anti-dumping measures. Regularly we are seeing this term, anti-dumping measures, right? So to prevent domestic markets, right? At the same time, another measure is there is currency manipulation. They devaluate their currency. Generally, this currency devaluation or currency devaluation. If we decrease our currency devaluation, exports increases, right? So China generally does this type of activities to promote their exports. So this is the simple concept regarding to trade barriers. Another concept is most favored nation. One should know this concept. Most favored nation, MFN friends. So according to this principle, that should be non-discriminatory. It means whoever in the World Trade Organization as members, they should have similar rules and priorities. So if we are giving or exporting at lower rates for one country, then you should export the same thing for all countries. So this is the definition of the MFN. Right. So still there are some of the exceptions are there. So even though we are a member in the World Trade Organization, some countries, some organizations like regional trade blocks are there. They can give their priority. So they need not to sell at the same thing for the members in the all in World Trade Organization and free trade agreement members. Right. These are the exception. So friends, this is overall important points what we need to learn in terms of World Trade Organization or international trade or global trade. So now we come to actual bodies which are there, which are controlling international trade, right? So one is GATT friends. GATT means everybody knows, right? So it started in 1948 to function till 1994. In 1995 we have World Trade Organization. After this 1995 the World Trade Organization has come, right? So friends, what is this difference between GATT and World Trade Organization which is functioning till date? So very simple thing are there. So in GATT majorly it works on the diplomacy, and there are no binding rules across the members. When it comes to World Trade Organization, it is completely different from the GATT, right? So it established in 1995, and there will be it is a rule based mechanism existed there, and the decisions is binding on the across the members. If any disputes, we have appellate body. The decision of this body is binding on the all members of World Trade Organization. So it is a totally a framework. It is a constitutional framework established for the international trade. right? So these body give importance to the international law over the politics or diplomacy, right? So now what happened? We all know, as the introduction we discussed, US continuously blocking the appellate body appointments. So that's why it is losing their relevance at present times. Moreover, we are witnessing trade wars, trade wars, especially US and China. So this appellate body is not giving, or whatever the decision they are not following by these two countries. That's why credibility is losing for this World Trade Organization. Got it, friends? Right. This is the concept, how we have to move and how we have to link the concept from the backgrounds to current thing. Now we will see some of the positives of this World Trade Organization rule-based system. What will happen if World Trade Organization works properly? We should know its importance before we talk about the challenges. Got it? So here, friends, in the global trade or international trade, establishing the certainty, legal certainty, right? It provides binding resolution, so it provides solution for trade disputes, trade disputes, and no trade wars. So right now, trade war is one of the challenge for the global countries, and if we see, it works the principle of inclusivity, whether it is a developing nation, developing, and whether it is a developed nation, all are included. Equity will be there. So equity principle is working or maintained by this World Trade Organization across the global countries. And economic stability. So it checks the trade wars. It promotes the free trade, right, without any disputes, and reduces the protectionism. Reduces the protectionism. And finally, this organization encourages multilateralism, right? So global cooperation. It pitches for the global cooperation by encouraging multilateralism across the global countries. So now we discuss about challenges. So what are the challenges existing at present for World Trade Organization or its framework, current framework? So friends, the major thing is loss of credibility. How the credibility has lost by the World Trade Organization? Because of appellate body was non-functional or dysfunction, and no appointments over period of 5 years. So if the body is like that, so who will believe in this organization? Please tell me. Right. So, and rise of protectionism. One of the benefit of World Trade Organization is reduction of protectionism. In the presence of World Trade organization, still protectionism is rising, right? So that is the one of the challenge. So we can quote the example 2018 US China trade war, right? US is more prone to protectionism, that started the imposing the tariffs on China. In retaliation, China also both, like in retaliation, China also imposed tariffs. So it is the vice versa. So that led to the trade war. And if we see rising of regional things, like geopolitical rivalries, we can call it as geopolitical rivalries. So here regional trade blocks like NAFTA, regional trade blocks, we can call it as RCEP, CTPP, Trans-Pacific Partnership, NAFTA. So friends, many regional trade blocks emerged. So that is the drawback for the this World Trade Organization. And shifting to GATT. So that is title is GATT-ification of World Trade Organization. So it is moreover diplomatic things, increasing the diplomacy over the binding on the rules and commitments of World Trade Organization. The world is moving to diplomacy, that is GATT era. So these are the challenges broadly what the World Trade Organization facing right now. Friends, I hope it is visible for everybody and got some of the important points. Now we move to what are the solutions or what government should do. Right. So in this situation, what government should do? So friends, US, right? US is blocking appointments of blocking appointments of appellate body, right? So it should not be do like that. It should be more flexible and right. Advocate for the diplomacy driven trade framework instead of blocking. So advocate diplomacy, right, trade framework. So if we block the and if we block functioning of this appellate body and finally World Trade Organization, that is not good. Instead of you need to pitch for the diplomacy advocate, that is okay. So that is the solution for this non-functioning of appellate body. When it comes to developing nation, all countries they should developing nations in point of developing nations I'm talking, developing nation should push for inclusivity, right? Inclusivity, trade fairness, trade fairness, that they need to pitch and voice in the World Trade Organization and want some reforms. They should want some World Trade Organization reforms also. Got it, friends? When it comes to India, India should call for the balanced approach. Like India should voice as a balanced approach between developing nations as well as developed nations and giving importance to protection of smaller, so giving importance to protection of smaller economies, right? That is the call by India. So these are the what the government should do, what should the US do, and developing nation version and India version. Yes, friends, is anything is there? Let me know in the chat. Sixth one is being an aspirant. What are your views in this? So here it should be positive, like optimism. So being an optimist, say your version of World Trade Organization reforms and functioning of World Trade Appellate Body and preserving functioning and preserving rule based system, right? And what is another view? So that is a critical view. Being a critic or a negative view, you can talk. So that is GATT-ification of World Trade Organization. So the world is moving towards GATT era. So that is not good for the, you can talk it as that is not good for the, not good for smaller economies and chance of rising inequalities, that you can go inequalities may rise. And finally take the balanced approach, that is a practical approach, that is whatever the pragmatic or realistic approach. So that is giving importance to World Trade Organization rule based system as well as promoting multilateralism, right? So instead of totally depending upon the one organization, we can take the regional approach. So friends, like this you can share your views, finally conclude in a balanced way. So what is your conclusion? So you can start with the some of the challenges and give some of the solution, finally take positive or way forward thing, way forward in one or two lines, right? So in one or two lines, so you can take this like this. So right now the World Trade Organization is at crossroads. So it is at crossroads. So WTO is at crossroads, right? So the rule based framework is undermined by the geopolitical rivalries and protectionism policies by the US, and the GATT-ification of World Trade Organization may threat the global trade stability. So is the time for the structural reforms in the World Trade Organization and to restore its dispute resolution system, that is appellate body, and considering of all small member nations, all member nations including small countries, small economies, we need collaborative approach to uphold equitable trade for all as well as promotion of multilateralism. So friends, these are the concluding words you can mention like this. So now we will discuss important questions which have already come in the UPSC. So friends, I hope it is visible for you. So let me choose somewhere right. So I hope it is visible for everybody. Got it. So friends, the question is here, imposing, straight away I have come middle. Let me start with the main question. So discuss the role of World Trade Organization in promotion of global trade. So friends, we know what is global trade, what are the key elements of global trade and some of the features, benefits, everything we have now, and economic growth. So economic growth, in the yesterday discussion we have discussed, that is GDP growth, GDP of last quarter to present quarter. If there is any growth, that is GDP growth or economic growth. So what is global trade? And critically analyze the challenges faced by the World Trade Organization, ensuring fair and inclusive trade regimes. So global trading system is under stress due to rising protectionism. Yes, friends. So who is rising this protectionism? We all know that is USA. And unilateralism measures by major economies like USA. So that you need to mention here and examine the role in addressing these challenges. So what do you understand by protectionism? So you can quote USA, why it is moving towards protectionism? Because of local jobs, their economy, right? So that the country is thinking like that. Discuss the implication of global trade and how World Trade Organization address such issues. Instead of protectionism, World Trade Organization promotes the multilateralism as we discussed, so that you can talk about and share your views and your knowledge. And another question is, evaluate India's role in shaping reforms agenda of World Trade Organization to address concerns of developing nations. Yes, friends. So take a deep dive, right? So it is asking about the India's role. So we need to read more concepts in the background, what has happened with respect to India in World Trade Organization. So friends, relevant to this topic, the question will come like this. The GATT-ification of World Trade Organization represents a regression in global trade governance. So discuss the statement in the context of rising protectionism and geopolitical tensions. So friends, is the right approach. Whatever we have discussed, we can mention some of the points and we can talk about beyond this also. So see some of the questions with respect to prelims. The term MFN, most favored nation, seen in the context of. So friends, most favored nation MFN talks about non-discriminatory approach. It means equal, even though it mentions most favored nation, as per the World Trade Organization rules, all are equal, equality principle. Suppose if you have given most favored nation for a country and sending goods at lower price for that country, then you should adopt this lower price for all the countries who are in World Trade Organization. That is the rule MFN talking. See the next one, that is, which of the following statements are true about World Trade Organization? It replaced, yes, in 1995, World Trade Organization dispute resolution mechanism is binding on all members. Yes, friends, both are correct. But in the GATT, there is no binding principle. It is existed only in the World Trade Organization. With reference to RCEP, consider the following statement. It is a free trade agreement between Asian and their FTA partners. India is the founding member. Friends, see this one. So India is not a founding member. Even India is not in the RCEP. It is not a member of RCEP. It is not a founding member and as well as not a member. So GATT was replaced by World Trade Organization during which are the following rounds of negotiation? So friends, the answer will be Uruguay round. So relevant questions are there. The term dispute settlement understanding is associated with. So it is World Trade Organization. Which of the following features of appellate body? It is the final authority in resolving trade dispute between nations, and rulings are binding on the members. It consists of 10 members appointed by Director General of World Trade Organization. Yes, friends. So if you don't know this concept, we can blindly go for the 1, 2, 3 because the members will be appointed by the Director General of World Trade Organization. That is the Q there. When it comes to this question, which of the following are members of CTPP? So Trans-Pacific Partnership. Trans-Pacific Partnership, that is Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement. So India is not a member, so we can eliminate that one. So if you eliminate that one, we are going to eliminate two options, right? So here one is there. Japan is the member of RCEP because it is the Asian nation. CTPP, it is Trans-Pacific, right? It is a Trans-Pacific member. So Japan is the member of both these regional blocks. So protectionist policies by countries often involve imposed tariffs. It means tariffs are the taxes, right? So if you impose on a tax on the importing good, the price will rises, right? But the domestic goods price is the very affordable. So people of that country give importance to domestic goods instead of importing one. So that is the protectionist policy. So imposing tariff, providing subsidies. Yes, these are the trade barriers. Enforcing stringent non-trade barriers. Yes. So non-tariff barriers we have discussed, that is lengthy custom documentation, rules and regulations, right? So that are the non-tariff. They are not going to impose any tax, but the procedural facts. Ongoing deadlock in the World Trade appellate body is primarily due to which of the following things. So it is not about the funding, opposition by developing nations to appellate body rulings. It is not relevant. And the third one is US blocking appointment subjects. This is the correct one. Disputes over MFN principle is not. So friends, the answer would be US blocking the appointment subjects. Yes. So friends, we have come to the end of this topic. If you have any questions with respect to these things, you can mention in the chat box. And moreover, thank you for watching this video. See you in the next video.